Good morning, everyone. Merch Hunter Ricky again, and we are talking about devil fruits. I do not know what episode number this is, so I'll edit it on the bottom. The two devil fruits for this video this morning are going to be the unicorn fruit. The whole name of the devil fruit would be Zoan type mythical model horse fruit model unicorn or some shit like that. You know, that's so many words. And then the next devil fruit will be a Paramecia type devil fruit, the repair fruit. Now, I work at a hardware store. By the color of my polo, it should be evidently clear which one I work at it is. I don't have the liberty to just freely speak about it because I work for the corporate side of things, as in I can't talk about my job often. I work for the merch though, so it's funny. Merch Hunter Ricky is actually a merchandiser in real life, so there you go. Anyways, fruit number one, the repair fruit. Now, there is a new structure to this devil fruit format, which you will see shortly here, and it's going to go in the way of basically the devil fruit explanation, you know, the type, what it is, what it does, then an entire list of powers. Now, depending on how long the power list is, you know, that might be a whole video in and of itself. So we're going to start with that. So the repair fruit's powers are as follows. The first thing you do is you activate the word, like the power, much like Law does with room. This word activator would be workspace. When you activate your workspace, like ethereal goggles and an apron appears on your body. I was thinking like a license badge like mine would also show up because I think that's funny. A little bit of like a little calling card of the devil fruit. Now, when you have the workspace activated, you are now using the repair fruit's powers, meaning that as long as you have a fundamental understanding of how to do basic repairs to advanced engineering repairs, you can perform them with this devil fruit. This devil fruit provides you access via ghost or ethereal tools, supplies, and workspaces. So you can start off with your basic workspace, you can upgrade it to a workbench, you can go up to a maintenance bay with higher levels of the devil fruit, and from there on, I will now list the ideas and the powers one by one with an explanation of how each one of them works. The powers of the repair fruit are going to function something along the lines of the way that Law's devil fruit works, but not necessarily in the same manner. See, Law's devil fruit operates in a room type situation where he becomes basically everything you can think of in an operating room and has to have medical knowledge to operate such things. As a repair human or a maintenance human, consuming the repair fruit will offer you the ability to repair non-living items. Anything broken, anything under the scope of basic maintenance and engineering to advanced technical engineering. Anything you can think of with this fruit, you can probably do. That depends on just the extra stuff. Nothing major and nothing too extensive, right? When you activate the power, like Law says room, right? You say workspace, which then will activate in the manner of having like ethereal goggles, an apron, maybe some gloves, some work boots, things that show that you are now in repair mode, that you're now doing some maintenance, right? Now, let's say that you are doing something quick, right? You're gonna fix a broken fence. Well, you'll first need a tool belt, right? Or maybe a tool bag in this case, since a fence is kind of a complex job. So you'll summon your toolbox, and that is your next type of power after saying workspace. You then got to ask for your supplies. So you can ask for a tool belt, a tool bag, toolbox, a whole tool cabinet, and then greater applications of the power will come with greater versions of storage, and you'll see why. So after summoning your tool belt, bag, or box, you will then begin to perform repairs. Now, you pull out what looks like see-through tools, implements to help you fix whatever is broken. You also summon things that you need to fix it with, such as supplies like wood, screws, metal scraps, zip ties, all of that stuff you can think of a repair shop having, you'll have access to. With the amount of stuff that you repair with will cost you energy, much like all Paramecia devil fruits, right? Now, when you are beginning the repair, sometimes you're going to need a surface to work on top of, right? So you'll need a workbench. Now, workbench is a very specific power for this devil fruit because you have to become stationary. Once you walk away from the workbench, your work disappears and whatever repairs you were doing, If they weren't finished, they go away. Okay, so that is workspace, tool belt, bag box, and workbench. Those are the opening powers of the devil fruit, much like law's basic applications, if you will. Now, going further than that, new types of things you can summon to help defend yourself, because this devil fruit can't really attack, and I'll explain why in a second, but you can most certainly defend yourself, especially against other people's attack. Now, this power is called PPE, which is personal protection equipment. Now, I work in a warehouse, and we have to have our gloves, typically goggles, and other types of things on us at all times to make sure we maintain safety. Now, for you, you can, someone's going to hit you with a hammer, hard hat, bam, it instantly teleports on your head. If someone's attacking you inside of your workspace, right? Now, going further than that, you can also do things, and that's not, it's not just the power, like the hard hat. You can do other things too, safety harness. You can dangle from high ledges and stuff like that. Do more complex repairs in situations that you couldn't normally reach, things of that nature. I'm looking at notes here, so don't blame me, okay? Now, next is power tools. Power tools, again, it's going to cost a lot of energy and you can't do them for too long. But power tools are going to be, your impact driver, your mechanical drills, jackhammers, crazy things. Oh, I guess you wouldn't need jackhammers to repair things unless you have to do some destruction around the area. But regardless, one of the other tools or powers you can do is summon straight up power tools to do the job for you. They operate on themselves, like they operate alone. You don't need to be controlling them manually. They will just float over to what you want them to fix and do it. Now, non-mechanical tools, you have to do it yourself, all the manual ones, of course. Now, when you actually begin to repair things, there's two types of repairs you can do to alleviate time. One, I thought of slap job, which is a crappy fix, maybe a couple extra nuts and bolts and a plank keeping, maybe a boat together. That stuff is going to wear off the second new damage is incurred anywhere on the ship. So let's say, a hole's blown on the side of the Going Merry. Usopp had this devil fruit. He could do slap job, and then once they're out of combat, so long as another hole doesn't appear in the ship, this one will stay fixed for about a day or so, and then it'll wear off. Kind of like how Tama's devil fruit wears off. I think it should operate like that. And then you can do something like quick fix. Quick fix would be you actually performing the real, maintenance on said item. However, with your knowledge and crafts and your ghost tools and ghost powers, you shorten the time of the job, no matter what it is, to roughly 2 to 5 minutes. Again, heavy energy usage, and you can't do too many of your powers in using your devil fruit. You can't use it too many times per day, because this one is going to be a heavy drain on the person, because it's pretty broken. When you think about being able to fix anything that you know how to fix and you never run out of supplies, this stuff takes time and energy, and it will affect a devil fruit user drastically. This next upcoming power, we're going to talk about summoning permanent fixtures to help you get your job done, whether it be a garage, a tool shed, or a maintenance bay. Now, garage and tool shed are going to be small permanent fixtures that, they can be 10 to 15 feet cubes that you do your stuff in, and it'll come with your workspace. You don't need to activate workspace, tool belt, or workbench. All of that will be there. PPE and power tools operate the minute that you think of them. And then slap job and quick fix, those ones aren't needed in this one, because you're here performing real time maintenance with, actual expertise, time, and attention to detail. Now, inside of the garage and the maintenance bay and the tool shed, what these things excel at is keeping you safe above all costs, which means should anyone else enter these zones, unfortunately, they will be jettisoned if they're not the devil fruit user. Now, this can be used to lure people in a combat type scenario. If you have your tool shed facing a boulder or something, they'll get jettisoned out directly into that thing. That's hilarious. But that would be the literal only combat application of this devil fruit. And honestly, it's pretty funny. Now, one of the penultimate abilities of this, almost like a Gear 4 type, would be one-time freebie. You can take an item, and no matter how destroyed it is, as long as it's mostly intact, let's say roughly 50% or more, you can one-time fix it instantaneously, perfectly for free. but it'll be like no charge to the item. The item can take damage again like regular, and the repairs will still stay the same as long as you don't destroy the whole thing, right? But one-time freebie only works on that item one time, obviously, and then this devil fruit, even slap job and quick fix, they can never be used on this item again. So that item fully fixed, sure, but then this devil fruit can never touch it. And that's when you decide the trade-off value for that, right? Going further into different types of powers, here's some things that I was spitballing. Let me know if you like these ones down below. The full power set before this would be what I think the devil fruit should always come with. Now here's some expertise applications. Indestructible coating, creating like a type of paint on an object that makes it, you know, unable to be destroyed. You have to get materials. Those materials don't just come back easily. I don't know, like, you know, this one I need help with. Maybe this devil fruit wouldn't be good for that power. Indestructible coating, repair fruit. I don't know if they go hand in hand to stop it from breaking, you know what I mean? I was thinking maybe something like that. Another power I like, I call it volunteer work. You set up like a shed or a kiosk. People that are granted permission to enter this shed and are willing to do so as well, hence the name volunteer work. They get whatever tools they need to complete the job to help you get your job done. And you can do this up to a certain amount of people. I guess you could say however much your energy / hockey allows, and maybe max 20, something like that. That just seems really fun and like a very innocent and wholesome power, right? Because there's not many of those in One Piece. Next would be the Awakening, and a lot of people might have problems with this, but I like it a lot. And the Awakening for this would be robotics / cybernetics. Once you enter your awakening state, I don't really know what you would say other than like, oh shit, we got a job to do. I don't know what kind of power activation would be for that, but essentially you become more than just a repairman. You become a mechanical engineer, downright close to like nearly robotics, you know, or like a robotics grade technician, like a nuclear engineer almost. And you have the ability to put cybernetic enhancements on people. Now you can't just take a person, hurt them, and then use cybernetics on them. Well, I guess you could, but that wouldn't necessarily be like the point of this power. This would be like if you broke your arm and you go to see the devil fruit user of the repair fruit and they fix your arm using cybernetics. You wouldn't be able to get it healed by regular medical means again, but you would be a cyborg, and that would be pretty awesome. The Awakenings, they last permanent. These kind of fixtures, they last permanent, right? Again, with robotics too. Just take a regular item and you're fixing it, but this time you add robot parts to it to make it more self-sufficient, a better item altogether, last longer, last stronger. I don't know. You know, what do you guys think about these little like spitball ideas down below? Next up, we're going to talk about the weaknesses this devil fruit can incur as well, which this is just a very simple one. The more damage you take, not like the item takes, not of the repair that was given to it, the repair is going to weaken on top of that, you know, new damage being coupled with the old damage. And that will eventually cause like a snap in the power, and the item will probably just disintegrate at that point. So it is a bit of a risk and a trade-off to deal with a freshly repaired item and taking it right back into combat, such as a boat, a car, a shield, things of that nature. You would want time to let the repair settle and make sure that you know how to use it again before it just, you know, cracks in half and then poof, your shield blows up in front of you and you're getting hit by a spear or whatnot, you know? But that has been the powers and weaknesses of the repair fruit. Now, for the rest of the video, I probably will just end up sharing the unicorn fruit. So there's that. Anyways, see you guys. All right, now for the unicorn fruit, this one's a little bit more difficult because the only thing I could find in Mythos about the unicorn is that touching its horn can heal diseases, and it can do things like stick its horn in water and the water will be pure for whatever, anything that touches the horn, basically, I assume gets removed of diseases and impurities. And that in and of itself is a fantastic power. However, that does not make a devil fruit power. Now, let's go a little bit crazy, shall we? First things first, I'm thinking like a horn launcher or just horn-based attacks in general, obviously. However, this is a mythical model devil fruit. Now, I guess you could say it is a low-level myth, like, what's his name? Onimaru from Wano, he had like a mythical devil fruit, but it simply just made him a tall guy with semi-super strength, you know? Like just a little bit smaller than Whitebeard, strong enough to give Zoro a semi-challenge, right? Now, the horse fruit model unicorn. So other than your healing properties with the horn, I'm thinking, you know, you're going to have some weirdo horn horse mechanic. Now, I don't know if it's going to be like rainbows and glitter, because that's really more of like an American way of looking at unicorns, you know? So I'm thinking of more of something like along the lines of like when you do your horn dash or your horn like slash, or you jump and you try to hit someone with your horn, you get like a free Rankyaku with it, which is one of the 6 powers. It's the one that Zoro shoots out of his blades, or the one that Kaku kicks and it makes like an air blade, right? So I think that being able to perform a Rankyaku without even knowing the 6 powers, like you just get a horn beam, right? I like that. I also think getting the power to not only remove the impurities, but put them back somewhere else. Like you can store them in the horn, and you know, you can remove it, negate it, or whatever, get rid of it, or you can put it on someone, you know, effectively making you kind of like a voodoo doctor almost. Also, I think maybe just other things about you can be supernatural. Like it doesn't just have to be your horn. Since you are a unicorn, you are magical in general. I don't know if like the magic is just located centrally at the horn, because that wouldn't really make a good mythical creature, I don't think. However, if it is, we can just play it off, you know, all these horn different attacks, all these different horn types of powers and tendencies. You know, the healing, the removal of impurity, that's like the basic stuff. Then, you know, like your devil fruit powers that also mix with your 6 fruit powers, like, or 6 powers. So, you know, horn slashes are just incredibly powerful with this fruit. You don't have to be trained to access them. They just come with it. If you were to go with a hockey preference for this devil fruit, I'm not 100% which one would benefit more or the other, because observation hockey with this fruit would be good on many different levels. It could help you find people to go heal. It could help you access points on your enemy that are weaker than others. But armament hockey on this thing would probably go crazy. And I think for that reason, I would choose armament over observation. That's just for me. But some other things about the devil fruit, obviously the awakening, you know, in general, on top of the horse mythos powers for the unicorn, you're also going to have the speed of a horse and the strength of a horse, the jump powers of a horse. Like, horses are freaking awesome. So you combine that with a human and your hybrid form, maybe you'll want to go centaur mode. I think you could do that. Obviously, you know, you could probably end up like the Impel Down Jailer Beast, who is the zebra. You might be, you know, you could look like that too, or you could go full Rob Lucci, control, master it. Then you have, you know, like Zoans just get that durability boost, the super speed, the stamina, the strength, but then they also get their animals' unique qualities, not just outside of like this unicorn's horn, but also you could, you know, throw in some, you know, horse characteristics that I don't think a regular horse should have that a unicorn could have. Like maybe being able to twist your body weirdly, like in a spiral shape because you have that spiral horn. I don't know, just a random spitball like that, right? But the awakening should get you a more slender form that gives you more access to like all of your boosts that you get from being a Zoan all at once, you know?